Greetings, fellow scientists. I am Dr. Way.
Salutations, young lab technologist. I'm Dr. Yah.
And other scientists, I am Dr. Zeke. We are so glad that you have once again decided to join us as we go mad for the gospel. All right, now, we've talked about Moses and the Israelites before.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
What?
They're back.
Yay!
Except this time, well, I shouldn't say except this time, they still seem to be in trouble.
They always have something wrong.
They do, you know, I mean, I guess traveling through the desert for the amount of time that they had to travel,
Yeah.
like, I'm guessing that, yeah, it probably wasn't an easy thing. And you would have thought that they would have learned their lessons along the way because God has always provided at every turn. But here they are.
Here they are.
They are stuck with the Red Sea in front of them and an army
An Egyptian army coming.
ready to attack them from behind. And so, what would you do in that situation? Would you be like, yo, I'm just gonna go get a sandwich? Nope. I would probably
I'd probably be like, oh my gosh!
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So the Israelites are at that time of panic. Like, they don't know what to do. Do they start swimming across the sea? Do they just go back and try to, like, fight for... what do you do?
Do you know what Moses told them to do?
What?
He told them to do nothing.
That's his grand plan is
Yep.
nothing?
Yep, he told them just
Water.
Just rest.
Body of water.
Yep.
Egyptian army.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just rest.
Okay.
Do you know why he told them to just rest? Because he already knew that God had some great big plan lined up to take care of his people. After all, God had already taken care of his people this far.
Yep.
I mean, he had gotten them through a lot. He got them out of Egypt. He got them in wandering towards the promised land. He was taking care of them just as he promised that he would do. And Moses knew that. He knew that things were going to be okay.
Well, God has provided every step of the way, so why worry now? Would you really not make it to the promised land? I mean, hello.
So Moses told the people to not worry, that God had this under control, and that's what he did. God sent a large rush of wind, and the Red Sea that stood in front of them parted to the sides, and the people had dry ground to walk through. So they didn't need to worry. They didn't need to freak out like I probably would have done. They needed just to wait because God had it under control.
He did, and even so, when they got onto the other side of the sea closed up on the army, and that army was washed away. So they didn't even have to worry about the army following them through on dry land because the army was washed away.
Yeah, God had it under control.
He did, just as he still does today.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is have trust and faith in him and do nothing. Just trust and have faith. No need to worry or panic, right?
Right.
All right. Today's science experiment is a fun one. We're going to build a zinger. Ooh, yeah. So hang on, and we will be right back because it is time for
Science experiment.
Hello there, scientists. We are just about ready for the science experiment. Here are the materials that you will need for this one. This one's going to be fun because it's called a zinger. A zinger. So to make a zinger, you are going to need plastic soda bottles. So somewhat like this, if you go and get a Diet Coke, Dr. Yah.
I do enjoy my Diet Coke.
Okay. So if you get a Diet Coke or whatever plastic bottle, you need 2 of those because you're going to cut them in half, okay? You're going to need a scissors to cut them in half. You're going to need tape. You're going to need yarn. You're going to need a paper clip. So what you're going to do, I've already made ours because it's a little hard to demonstrate, but you're going to cut the plastic bottle in half, and then you need the 2 halves that have the nozzle on top, okay? You're going to tape them together in the middle. We used clear packing tape, whatever tape you guys have at home.
Something strong.
Something strong. You could have decorative tape, you could have masking tape, duct tape, whatever you have. Then you're going to take 2 long pieces of yarn. We suggest about 16 feet, but when Dr. Yah and I did it, we needed just a little bit shorter. So play with it a little bit and see. But anyways, you need to take your long piece of yarn. You're going to string a paper clip on it, on the end, and you're going to feed in one end so that it comes out the other end, so that you have these 2. Then you're going to take the yarn and cut it in half so that you have two pieces of yarn that are totally separated. You don't want a loop in there, okay? All right, then what you're gonna do, now comes the fun part, making sure that your yarn is not twisted on the inside, okay? 2 people is needed for this. You're going to take and put it down on one end, and then that person is going to go like that, and then I'm gonna open mine, and you're gonna
Watch
go,
your knuckles, it can kind of hurt.
you're gonna go back and forth. Now, obviously to stay in the lab and on camera, we have such a very short length, but if we move back out of the picture, you're going to open the yarn as it comes and then send it right back to your partner. So the knocking you heard was Dr.
That was
Dr.
my
Yah's
fingers.
knuckles, okay? So be very careful with it. All right, does anybody know why that moves? It's a big fancy word. You were talking about it earlier, Dr. Yah. Can you share with our young scientists what words you thought it might be?
Inertia. Can
It
you
is.
say that with me? Inertia.
Inertia. We're talking about force, right? So what happens when you pull the strings apart, Dr. Yah?
Then the bottle zinged to
Yeah,
the other side.
it went to the other side. Now, do you think the bottle could have done that on its own?
No.
No, you had to be the force. It had to have inertia. Inertia says the zinger won't move unless an outside force makes it move. So if we didn't do it, that zinger was
Nothing
not
was happening.
going to move.
And when we think about our Bible story for today with the Red Sea,
Mm-hmm.
we know that there's no scientific reason why the water should have separated at that exact moment for the Israelites to walk across. Instead, God was the force behind that happening. It wouldn't have happened on its own. It needed something that was going to do it, and that something was God.
Yeah, can you imagine the force or the inertia that would have had to like
to
move an
split.
entire sea so that you could walk on dry land? It wasn't even like
Muddy.
he just made it shallow. It was completely
Dry.
separated and dry ground to walk across.
God protected his
He did.
people.
He was the force, the great force behind that one. So.
Mhm.
Well, we thank you for joining us this week. We hope you have a lot of fun playing with your zinger at home, going back and forth and see what you can do to make it move. So until next time, when you join us, we'll go mad for the gospel.
Have a great day.